Hello and welcome to our educational series, Wise Words, taking the jargon out of investing. I'm Heidi.
And I'm David. In this session, we're going to do a brief video giving some information about final salary pensions.
So a final salary pension, is that the same as a defined benefit scheme?
Yes. So basically, they are one and the same thing because it relates to the benefit that you receive in retirement being defined.
Oh, that makes sense. So are these different to a defined contribution scheme?
Yes, there's quite a few videos already on our website and YouTube channel around defined contribution pensions, so I won't go into those here. But yes, basically the final salary pension is much more linked to the income that you receive either in the final year or final years of your working life prior to retirement.
So who is likely to have a defined benefit or final salary scheme?
There's a lot fewer final salary pensions that are still active. For example, people that are likely to have final salary pensions now might be public sector workers. So for example, police, NHS, and so on are much more likely to have that kind of arrangement still ongoing. Although historically, there were a lot more final salary pensions available. So some people, perhaps age 50 or above, for example, might have some final salary pensions that from previous years' employment.
Okay, so it's mostly people who've previously worked for a large employer or somebody who works in the public sector.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So do final salary pensions really not exist for people currently in employment?
They're certainly not as common as they used to be. From a financial planning standpoint, we often find that clients come to us with a final salary pension perhaps from a previous employer, and actually from a planning point of view that provides a guaranteed income in retirement, and so is an important element to any financial plan.
So is that income then guaranteed for the rest of my life?
Yeah, so typically what would happen is that you would receive an income of a fixed sum throughout the rest of your life once you hit a certain age, albeit that can increase with inflation, for example, or a predetermined rate.
So what happens to a final salary pension when you die?
Well, that does depend on the scheme. Typically, you may, if you have a spouse, for example, they may receive a percentage of the income if they live beyond you. So for example, that might be 50% of the income that you were receiving as the pension plan holder. When you pass away, you may receive 50% of what they were receiving.
And am I able to make any changes to a final salary once it's actually in payment?
In short, not really, no. Usually there's a lot of calculations have gone into the determination of how much you'll receive in retirement before you retire, and so that tends to be quite fixed. Clients often come to us with these sorts of questions, and as I say, it does depend on the type of scheme that you have. So I would suggest in the first instance, it's worthwhile speaking to your HR department, and they should be able to answer a lot of the questions that you may have.
That's great, and I think that really covers the basics of such a complex area.
Don't forget to like and comment, and there is further information available on our website.